After a day-long grilling that took close to 9 hours, suspended Lands Secretary Charity Ngilu emerged from the anti-graft offices at Integrity Centre, but she would deny all links to graft that landed her in the now infamous list of shame.
What I'm seeing here and the questions that have gone through and answered and the documents that we have do not look real to me. In the sense that where would issue, for instance, let me ask, where would issue of overpricing a piece of land in Mombasa come from, for instance? That there was a government valuation, and to this date, as you all know, Mr. Waitiki has not even accepted what the government is offering.
And she believes her accusers are...
When I just stand firm that this is what we are doing, I can assure you, and the changes that we are making in the ministry to make sure that everything is operated transparently, openly. There are many people who are certainly not too happy about that.
Kuresoi legislator Zakayo Cheruiyot was also here to answer to some questions.
But if it is really issue of corruption, corruption cannot be fought politically. It cannot be fought by harassment. This case, I have a case in court which has been there for over 15 years on matters which are related to the so-called Anglo-leasing projects.
This being the second day in the diary of EACC investigators who have summoned all individuals named in the list of shame every day for the coming weeks. And as the EACC tries to meet the 60-day deadline, a task force on the review of the legal, policy and institutional framework for fighting corruption in the country is to be launched tomorrow. The Attorney General, Professor Githu Muigai, will chair the task force, while the other members are Willy Mutunga, the Chief Justice, Mumo Matemu, the Chairman of EACC, Keriako Tobiko, the Director of Public Prosecutions, Otiende Amolo, the Chairman, Commission on Administrative Justice, Mbage Nganga, the Chairperson, Kenya Law Reform Commission, Edward Ouko, the Auditor General, Agnes Odhiambo, Controller of Budget, Joseph Boynet, Inspector General of Police, Major General Philip Kamero, the Director General, National Intelligence Service, and they will be joined by the Director General of the Public Procurement and Oversight Authority, Director of Criminal Investigations, Ndegwa Muhoro, the Acting Director, Financial Reporting Center, Acting Director, Assets Recovery Agency, Acting Director, Mutual Legal Assistance Central Authority, and the Acting Director, National Anti-Corruption Campaign Steering Committee Secretariat. The joint secretaries will be John Kithome Tuta and Mary Wairago. The task force will work for 60 days and will be tasked with, among other things, proposing appropriate reforms to the legal, policy and institutional framework for fighting corruption and promoting ethics and integrity, proposing appropriate amendments to various legal instruments with a view to strengthening the legal and institutional framework for fighting corruption, examine the organizational structures of the key anti-corruption agencies with a view to providing clear separation between the policy and operational roles of such entities, consider and propose appropriate mechanisms for collaboration and cooperation among the institutions involved in the fight against corruption, consider and propose appropriate mechanisms for preventing and combating corruption in the devolved system of government and in the management of devolved funds, and consider the role of non-state actors such as religious organizations, civil society, media and the private sector in the fight against graft. Meanwhile, Nairobi County officials arrested last week over corruption allegations have been released on a 2 million shilling cash bail pending hearing in June. Head of County Treasury, the Head of Finance and 3 others were charged last week, and among them was Lilian Ndegwa, the Nairobi County Secretary. Jacky Maribe for The Big Question.